Hey, it's your guy Tyrrell back with the interviews. In today's video, we're going to briefly break down how Paulo Dybala played a key role in Juventus' narrow win at Brescia. But before we do that, don't forget to give our video a thumbs up if you do enjoy it. The bell below does give you daily notifications regarding our organic, unfiltered soccer/footy analysis. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. But now, let's get to the starting lineups. We look at Brescia, more of a 4-3-1-2, Donnarumma and Balotelli ahead of Romelu. And in midfield, we went Bisoli, Tonali, and De Sena. Then we get to Juventus, same formation, 4-3-1-2 with Higuain and Dybala ahead of Ramsey. And in midfield, they went with Khedira, Pjanic, and Rabiot. So now we're just going to briefly look at Paulo Dybala, see how he played a key role in Juventus' important win at Brescia. So in today's video, rather than breaking down how Juve were able to get by Brescia, we're going to look to the key talking point, and that was Paulo Dybala. When we look at the board and we break things down, you have Brescia in a 4-3-1-2, playing in an identical system to Juventus because they wanted to man-mark them across the pitch. Breaking it down briefly, we do see Donnarumma and Balotelli stepping to the center backs. You have Romelu, who is tasked with closing down Pjanic. You have Bisoli and you have De Sena marking out Rabiot and Khedira. And then Aaron Ramsey is supposed to link play with Higuain and Dybala, possibly joining them also in the box with his late runs, is marked out by Tonali. That does leave the fullbacks free to push forward against the fullbacks, and we often did see Khedira and we did see Rabiot occupy themselves ahead of the Brescia shuttlers so that passes could be played out to the fullbacks to go 1v1, which does favor Juventus given the ability of Danilo and Alexandro to pose a threat in the final third. But this was about Dybala, his ability to drop off deeper into midfield, give Juventus a spare man to play around Brescia's midfield and get by their defense, whereas Brescia with Donnarumma and Balotelli, those forwards didn't do the same thing, and that is why Juve were able to create their chances here, and it was Dybala involved in some of their better chances and involved in the build-ups to their goals. When we look to Dybala and Juve's first opportunity here, what we do see is De Ligt dropping off the ball to Pjanic and Romelu doesn't step to him. What ends up happening there is that Dybala ends up dropping off into space between Tonali and De Sena to get the pass from Pjanic, and he turns away from Tonali and slides the ball out to Ramsey, shifting out into that right-hand zone. What happens now is that Danilo does make the overlapping run to pull up the left back, and we end up seeing the ball being played back to Danilo. What Danilo does now is that with Khedira making the run across into that right half space, he drags out Tonali and the ball is poked into him. Now, with those three players marked taken out of the game, he ends up dropping it back to Ramsey, who squares it to Dybala, and Dybala now, with Tonali stepping to him, plays it by him into Khedira, who is goal side of the left back in right half space, and he drags his shot inches wide of the net. But as you see there, they pull out three markers out of the game. They're able to get a 4v3 advantage there. Dybala pulls the strings, he finds the space, and Khedira should score there, but he doesn't. Shortly after that, we see Cuadrado replace Danilo, who was unable to continue. But again, it stems down the right-hand side, and we see Cuadrado receive the ball, and he ends up splitting De Sena and Romelu for Dybala, again dropping off into that space. But Dybala instantly plays the ball back to Cuadrado in that right-hand zone, and then he gets it back in that space to drag out Tonali, and once Tonali steps with Dybala, he instantly plays it to Pjanic, who is free in midfield, and even before Romelu could get to him, he slides it out to Ramsey, who now is free because Tonali did step to Dybala, and when Bisoli tries to step to him, he's able to poke the ball into Dybala, who locates Higuain running off the center backs, specifically Sistana, but he is offside despite getting a good first touch and forcing the goalkeeper into a save. But just like that, with Dybala's movement, you're able to see the entire Brescia midfield being pulled out of position because they're outnumbered in that zone. And with neither Donnarumma or Balotelli dropping off or any of the center backs stepping to Dybala, he was able to ensure that they could pull Brescia's midfield out of position. One final opportunity in that first half. It is what does lead to the goal, and it's Cuadrado in that half getting pressed by De Sena Senna, and he slides the ball out to Dybala and squares it into a central position. Romelu ends up trying to backtrack to get to him, but what happens is that Khedira's in the box, and he ends up playing a 1-2 to Khedira around the left back and gets into right half space, but his cross is blocked for a corner, and that corner eventually leads to the own goal. So when we look at that and we see how Dybala was able to break them down, playing an identical system, then we move to the second half where we see Brescia move to more of a 3-5-2. You have Romelu tucking into the right side of the midfield, and you have Sabelli moving into a center back role with Bisoli moving into a right wing back role. The reason why they do this now is because now they can match up in midfield still, and now they're relying on Donnarumma and Balotelli to block off the passing lanes into Pjanic. But even so, Dybala still played a prominent role in what Juventus were trying to do going forward. When we look to how they were going about that, first it's Bonucci with the long direct ball. We have Higuain pulling out Chancellor, and then you have Dybala making the run across Sistana. He brings down the ball. Sistana pokes it away from him, but we have Higuain was able to pick up the loose ball, get around Sabelli and get around Sistana to force the goalkeeper into a save. And that was how the second half started. And more so, we did see more intricate play from Juve to get down that zone. And it started again down the right-hand side. And on two separate occasions, we saw similar moves that did get them into good positions. First, we have Cuadrado moving down the right channel, and he ends up seeing Dybala dropping off Sistana and pokes the ball in between De Sena and in between Maseju. What happens there is that when he picks up the ball, Tonali does step to him, and he's able to turn and fake cut central and then move towards the left down to the byline, but his cross is poked away into the path of Rabiot, and Rabiot's shot is blocked by Chancellor, denying Juve of the go-ahead goal. Then it's Cuadrado again pushing forward and poking the ball in between Maseju and in between Tonali for Ramsey, who drops off ahead of De Sena, and what he ends up doing is he turns, delivers a cross into the box that Sabelli clears to the edge, and it's Dybala forcing the keeper into a quality save that possibly should have led to a goal. The build-up to the winner also stems through Dybala, but this time we see Juve pressing. It's Khedira stepping to Maseju, and what happens there is he tries to play the ball into Tonali, but it's loose, and Ramsey does step to it, and Higuain ends up sliding the loose ball into Dybala, who does break forward before Romelu tracks back and fouls him. Pjanic's free kick ends up being blocked, but he ends up firing a low pile driver past the keeper. That eventually is the winner. Then we see changes. Bernardeschi, Donnarumma, and Morosini do end up coming into the game, but Dybala still is the key man here, still finding pockets of space to receive the ball when they drop off into a five-man backline, linking play with his teammates, and the final opportunity that we do break down sums it all up. It's Pjanic again getting free space, locating Rabiot in between Tonali and Romelu, plays the ball into him, and that drags out Sabelli, and once Sabelli steps to Rabiot, he pokes it into the path of Dybala, who's free to run at goal at the backline, drag the shot inches wide of the net. Yes, Brescia did get some chances in the second half that perhaps they possibly should have converted in the final 15 minutes, but this game was about Dybala. He was finding the space, he was overloading the midfield, he was involved in Juventus's best opportunities, and he was involved in the build-up to both goals, and he was the key player here now, which does pose a lot of questions once Ronaldo gets back into the lineup. Can Juve fit Dybala into their starting 11? Does he have a role in their best 11? Can he figure out a way to influence this side going forward? Meet me in the comments below. Don't forget I upload videos every day, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and let me know what you guys think about Dybala. And that was your daily dose of the interviews.